Guys, this video is about the scientific basis of meditation. Well, in this video, I take you through the evidence-based benefits researched on PubMed, Cochrane Library, and Google Scholar, including studies from published from 1990 to 2021. Further, I speculate a few mechanisms which were not depicted in the available scientific publication on mechanism of action of meditation and the positive effects of meditation can be considered an ancient secret from prehistoric times, but it's only recently we must thank the latest developments in MRI, EEG, and other brain scanning technologies that we have been able to scientifically confirm what our gurus have known for centuries. For starters, some kinds of meditative activities have been shown to increase the brain's amount of alpha waves, which are the brain waves mainly associated with the creativity and relaxed state of mind. But meditation might have benefits beyond simply chilling you out or helping you feel more artistry. A study conducted by uh, a study showed that meditation actually can increase brain density in the prefrontal cortex. Right. So let me make it simple. That is to simplify a concept subject. The prefrontal cortex separates humans from animals. That is, it's far more developed in humans than it is in our furry friends. The prefrontal cortex is typically responsible for much of our conscious thoughts and reasoning, including empathy, self awareness, intuition, morality, and the ability to focus through emotional turmoil. With that in mind, it is easy to see how meditation could improve your productivity by exercising the right parts of your brain. Okay, so now let's look at each area individually. So when it comes to focus and memory, a strong prefrontal cortex can give you more control over your thoughts, even the unproductive ones. A study published in Brain Imaging and Behavior confirmed what the other study which was published by University of California. So these both studies have shown that meditation training through mindfulness might improve your working memory. In both these studies, the mindfulness meditation both reduced mind wandering and cut down on proactive interference, which is when things you have previously learned impede your ability to learn and recall new things. Right. So now we'll see the effect of meditation on decision making, because big decisions are made in the prefrontal cortex, and it stands to reason that meditation could be a great aid in making better choices. While it is a difficult topic to quantify and measure what we do know, and we should thank to University of Pennsylvania study where the mindfulness can mitigate the sunk cost bias, and by emphasizing temporal relations and presenting a clearer and more objective viewpoint, meditation fortifies your brain from making unbiased decisions, right? And there are few more studies which showed the meditation on stress relief, right? For many people, stress relief is a reason enough to delve into meditation and mindfulness practices. Although the scientific documentation is somewhat unnecessary, you can just see yourself how meditation can relieve stress. However, a study conducted by Johns Hopkins University says that the meditation programs can result in small to moderate reductions of multiple negative dimensions of psychological stress, which was defined in this publication as anxiety, depression, and stress. Further, the same John Hopkins study have also noted the positive effects of mindfulness meditation on improving physical symptoms like pain. However, while it's not a one size fits all solution for stress or mental health issues, mindfulness based meditation can be a good tool for reducing the negative impact they can have on your life and even at work. Right. There are studies saying that meditation can also improve relationship with coworkers. Especially in business, it's often taken for granted that collaboration and teamwork are trainable skills, and some workers are better at them than others. So, the researchers are beginning to explore the effects of meditation might have on work relationships, suggesting that perhaps the interpersonal benefits of meditation could make it as a useful tool for improving team collaboration. And another most frequently reported benefit of meditation is improving in problem solving capacity and creativity. So, for something as eternal as creativity, it's surprising how much empirical evidence there is showing its connection to meditation. First, let's talk about a study by Leiden University which showed that meditation's effect on divergent thinking were robust. So, the divergent thinking is the process of creating multiple new and original ideas as opposed to convergent thinking, which is more about deducing a single conclusion from various inputs. When it comes to creativity, however, the evidence is little less clear, but uh, the information which I have seen from a meta-analysis of several studies have demonstrated a significant correlation between meditation practices and improved creativity. Of course, the ultimate benefits depends on the type of meditation practiced. And there are few experts have also pointed out that mindfulness meditation facilitates 3 out of 4 stages of creative processes. Actually, in creative process, there are 4 steps are there or 4 stages are there. That is preparation, incubation, illumination, and verification. So, by practicing meditation, it is possible to improve the first 3 stages, that is preparation, incubation, and illumination. All right. Regardless of quite a lot of scientific research reports and even reviews on the outcomes of various styles of meditation. Some more extensive analysis is mandatory to make clear understanding on the mechanism how meditation works. Now, we're going to see some neurophysiological basis to understand it better. And I would suggest you, before going into this, sit for 30 seconds and observe your thoughts. Whatever thoughts gets into your mind, write in a paper and just keep it with you for 30 seconds. Pause the video and go. I hope you have done that. So all your thoughts are somehow related to your emotions, relations, friends, events, or incidents, etc. So all these episodic memories will come into picture as soon as we start doing some activity, which leads to mind wandering, which in turn causes distraction to our work. Now, let us try to understand it and how meditation helps to overcome it. All right. So by default, there are certain areas of brain which are active. There are certain areas of brain which are active and involved into a network called as default mode network. So this default mode network is most commonly defined with resting state data by putting a seed in the posterior cingulate cortex and examining which other brain areas most correlate with this area. So this can be defined by areas deactivated during external directed tasks compared to rest. Okay, and it has been shown that default mode network exhibits the highest overlap in its structural and functional connectivity, which suggests that the structural architecture of the brain may be built in such a way that this particular network is activated by default. Right. So these areas are divided as hubs and subsections. So the functional hubs are information regarding self. That means these are the areas which are present and responsible for this functional hubs and the processing of information regarding self, right? And there is another system called as dorsal medial system. So the components which are consisting of this dorsal medium system are these, and this system mainly responsible for thinking about others. And there is another system which is called as medial temporal subsystem or autobiographical memory and future stimulations. So these are the areas of brain which falls under this system, right? So let me make things simple and actionable in day-to-day life. So there are certain areas of brain, in this network called medial temporal lobe, where all episodic memories uh, or emotional memories are stored and released. So all our episodic memories or emotional memories will be in this medial temporal lobe of default mode network. So generally we know that mind wandering is disturbing sometimes. So this will have a source of variability, that is disturbs the task of a person supposed to do. So the source of disturbance in mind lies mainly in the medial temporal lobe. At the default, these areas of the brain will be active. So there are many other components in this network. Now I'm going to talk about one part of the brain which is associated with temporal lobe, where a lot of episodic memories are stored and released. So all these memories are in this medial temporal lobe of the default mode networking part of brain. And we know that mind wandering is mostly disturbing. So this disturbs the task the person is supposed to do. However, these episodic memories are also very important. So if we can orient or cognize internally, it brings some constraints on mind wandering, and the episodic memory will not go on an unrelated spectrum. But when we internally try to orient our cognition, all our thoughts will be in particular memory or feeling. So whatever the variability that is produced by episodic memory can be constrained by our internal cognition. And we have another network called dorsal attention network, which is focused on external attention. Say for example, if you are doing some work concentrating on an object or holy picture, god or idol, or even one posture. Say for example, as a part of meditation leads to external orientation, at that point of time we will have some constraints on this episodic memory. Say for example, when we do meditation in a posture, initially we do concentrate on posture, in which asana you are seated, to go into meditative states, etc. And not only external attention but also the sensations which are arising from your body. So even at that point of time, our dorsal attention network drives the attention. So now, whether it is an internal or external cognition, we have another network called ventral attention network. Ventral attention network, which is very sensitive for salience, that is some type of new experience. Say for example, if we are seated in a new posture, or different type of breathing, or any change in our practice also causes some constraints on episodic memory, which leads to reduced mind wandering. It could be a completely external agent that grabs our attention. So we have the capacity to control our mind wandering internally or externally by focusing on something else. And another most critical thing is that we have fronto-parietal network, which is responsible for deliberately constraining thoughts. At our will, we can constrain our thoughts. So generally, during meditation practice, we are instructed to just observe the sensations but not to control. So with this, we are also learning emotional maturity. So all these networks, internal orientation, external orientation, salient network, frontoparietal network, leads to deliberate constraints on thought that actively participate or plays an important role during your meditation practice. So, when we practice repeatedly with the principles of neuroplasticity, these networks get very strong and flexible. That means we can shift from activity of one network to another network. So this deliberate constraint on thought by frontoparietal network is the strongest network that can suppress the episodic memories and develops one-pointedness and intellectual development. So the internal oriented cognition can be useful to develop emotional flexibility, and appropriate activity of these circuits plays critical role in development of creativity. And if anything goes wrong in these circuits leads to some disorders in thoughts, and of course we are not concerned with disorders of this dorsal default mode network system. But I hope you understood the mechanism, speculated mechanism, how meditation is working. Right. Let me repeat the important aspect of this. Generally, when we do meditation or when we try to practice meditation, we are instructed to just observe the thoughts and sensations but not to control. So this is helping you to learn emotional maturity. And all these networks which I have discussed, like internal orientation, external orientation, salient network, frontoparietal network, all these leads to deliberate constraints on thought that actively play an important role during meditation. When we do regular practice of this meditation, by the principle of neuroplasticity, these networks get very strong and flexible. So we can shift from one activity on another network to another network so that we can get the benefits of all the benefits of meditation. So this is one speculated mechanism how meditation works. And however, regardless of quite a lot of scientific research reports and even reviews on the outcomes of meditation, there is a lot more extensive research is mandatory to make all these unclear understandings mechanisms. With regard to the value of meditation to improve the productivity at work, the majority of scientific studies reports beneficial in support of meditation interventions, despite the fact that there are a variety of effect sizes noticed. And further, the level of benefit of meditation in any specific study will mainly rely on a variety of aspects like characteristics of the participants like age, gender, health status, and criteria to participate in the study, and characteristics of meditation interventions like style of meditation, intensity of meditation, and duration of practice of meditation, and of course the finally the compliance of meditation practice. I hope you could able to understand this concept, how default mode networks plays role in the beneficial activity of meditation. This is one of the explanation which I have come across as very authentic, right? So the terminologies which I have used may be very familiar with medical students and medical professionals, and the others can I would suggest to go through 2 or 3 times through this video and through the literature also to understand it better. And As we are talking frequently about the concept of mind, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the concept of mind and various factors which are responsible for regulation of thoughts, etc. See you in the next video.